Retro Raw number 289, also December 7th, 1998.
Now we went from Houston, Texas, where there was 32,000 people in attendance, to Monday Night Raw in Connecticut, where there were 9,000 people in the building.
You know, So JR's mom died, had an attack of Bell's palsy. They edited him off the show, and...
Or did they?
It's Michael Cole now, doing commentary.
But every so often, the camera would swing to the announce desk.
Sure.
And there's JR sitting there.
Sure. But that's not the issue I must discuss here. I don't want to be a dick, but Michael Cole is so fucking terrible. Like, I guess he's better today, but he was so bad on this show. And all I could think was, I got years. If we do these retro shows all the way until the end of time,
dude,
I have so many years of horrible, awful, atrocious Michael Cole.
Do you remember his year as the heel play-by-play guy?
Dude, at least that's only 1 year. I mean, this was when he was trying to be a good announcer.
The highlight from Cole that I remember from the show, I didn't even write.
Please tell me it's the same one.
I didn't even write it down. I just remember it because of course, Vince is in his headset telling him what to say, or somebody. Mm-hmm. So somebody in one of the matches hits a knee to the midsection, to which Cole describes a kick to the knee section.
My favorite thing with Cole tonight was he was not at ringside. JR and Jerry Lawler were at ringside, and yet Cole had to act like there was chaos going on around him when Stone Cold was near the announce desk, and to hear him fake going, ah, was ridiculous.
Sorry, what did he say?
He said,
I'll tell you the real Michael Cole highlight. There may have been more, but I try so hard not to hear him. There's a match with D'Lo Brown and Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff Jarrett goes for the sunset flip, and D'Lo is off balance, and he's swinging his arms, and he's about to go down, but then he gets his balance, and he punches him in the head. And Michael Cole explains, D'Lo got the weight back on his front feet.
That's a bad place to carry weight.
Well, not if you're a horse.
How many fucking feet does this guy have? He has front and back feet?
Oh, that's tremendous.
Now I need to really start listening.
Oh, God.
He avoided it by getting the weight back on his front feet.
He left the word of. Front of his feet.
Nah, it's his front feet, Craig. He's a quadruped.
I don't judge.
All right. Let's try to get the show over with. DX comes out for a promo, by which I mean Hunter, China, and X-Pac. Outlaws have been being courted by the McMahons lately. So Hunter says, Billy and Road Dogg, if you have made a business decision, that is fine with us, but have the balls to say it to our face.
I do love that. If you guys are going to leave us and go with Vince McMahon and the heels, that's cool.
Because it's
tell
money.
us.
It's money.
Yeah.
Just let us know where you're getting and if we can get a cut. So out come the Outlaws wearing suits. Here's another Michael Cole moment. He's disgusted. Why? Look at him drinking bottled water. Like, on top of everything else, Road Dogg's been drinking out of bottled water for his entrance for a year now.
That's true.
But it's a small bottle.
It's a larger, probably cheaper bottle of water.
Yes.
It's not Evian.
No. So Road Dogg does the spiel. Says, Vince McMahon brings to you his tag team champions, Road Dogg Esquire and Badass Inc., the new corporate outlaws. They found a heartbroken fan who began to tear the felt letters off her homemade New Age Outlaw sports bra.
Bet she felt stupid later.
I guess so. Or when she was getting her New Age Outlaw sports bra made, that may have also made her feel stupid.
No, apparently not.
In hindsight.
So the Outlaws bring out Sean, and Sean cuts a promo on Hunter. You owe me an apology for riding my coattails for years. Hunter says, wait a minute, I was the one dragging you around with a belt you had no business carrying. Montreal reference. And they go back and forth for a while, and finally Sean books Hunter and X-Pac against Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man in an Anything Goes match tonight.
Excuse me, an Anything Goes match?
Yeah. That's what he said.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, there's more to say about that.
And if the Outlaws get involved, then so be it. Play my music. And they play the DX theme, and Shawn and the Outlaws leave, and the McMahons are out there, and despite what this homemade sports bra wearing fan thought, it was obvious where this was going, but it was still a great setup for it.
So just to clarify, they're going to have an anything goes match.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until right now.
And if the Outlaws get involved,
Then so be it.
So be it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Somewhere in here, by the way, Hunter, I think, was the first one to use the words "the corporation" for the bad guys. Hunter's giving X-Pac a pep talk backstage. Says, China, you got to watch our backs if the Outlaws get involved. D'Lo Brown versus Jeff Jarrett. Okay. So the match at Buried Alive, out of nowhere, it's Goldust versus Jeff Jarrett, where if Goldust wins, Deborah has to get naked. But if Jarrett wins, Goldust has to get naked.
Yeah. Skeptical?
A little bit.
Skeptical and wondering where it all came out of, and I mean, at least there's one match on the show where I know who they want the fans to cheer for.
Sure.
That's clear.
This is a rather uncomfortable topic, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
Yep. I had the same thought.
So D'Lo hits him with the running powerbomb out of the corner.
Oh, boy.
The same move that rendered Draws a quadriplegic. And the story always was that D'Lo ran and slipped, and that's what went wrong.
Nope.
Now, I don't know what happened. I mean, maybe that is what went wrong. But all I got to say is he did that same move here to Jeff Jarrett, and it looked so dangerous. He lifted him up. He lets the guy start to go down. Then he runs and dropped the guy right on his neck.
He didn't even get him all the way up.
It was so bad.
And I've actually noticed this before, but I didn't want to say anything, but I can't avoid it now.
You can't avoid it. It was patently obvious.
No
watching it
one
here.
pulled him aside and said, you got to do this better or safer.
Nope, no one did.
They waited until tragedy hit.
The one that he did to Draws, I remember he ran like halfway across the ring with it.
Yeah.
It was bad. This one with Jarrett, he just stuffed him on the back of his neck and shoulders.
So also, related to D'Lo, he attacked Jarrett with a guitar on heat. I have no idea why. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is there's like 8 different people in the mid card here all feuding with each other.
I have to say this too. D'Lo is a great heel.
Oh, D'Lo was properly hated.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't Xbox heat. They just really didn't like the guy.
Yeah. So eventually Goldust comes out in a trench coat. He flashes Deborah. This distracts Jarrett. D'Lo gets the win with a sunset flip.
So he was unable to get his weight back on his front feet.
Apparently. Well, speaking of Michael Cole saying stupid things, there's more here than I realized. Cole says they're doing a replay. Here's, Goldust's back to the camera or a side view, but he opens his trench coat. Michael Cole says, hey, on Sunday, we may see even more of Goldust. That's his tease. By the show, maybe you'll see Goldust naked. No, I'm not buying the show.
What if he paints his schwanz gold?
Probably depends how much paint he has.
Okay.
It's a little. If he finishes and there's like a little bit left, so I don't want to waste this.
So Austin is backstage, meeting with some geeks.
A terrible beat poetry commercial for WWF Cologne.
I laughed.
Footage of Vince McMahon speaking at Oxford in England.
I laughed at this too.
This actually was amazing. Headbangers versus the Brood.
Fuck. Gangrel and Edge versus the Headbangers. Luna, Clothesline's Mosh. That's a DQ. Fucking Tiger Ali Singh for
What
God
the
only
fuck
knows
was Tiger
what
Ali
reason
Singh
is
doing
out there. The
when has he
oddities
ever
are out
interacted with
there.
any of these people?
This was just the worst.
What in the hell is happening?
The worst of pro wrestling.
There was so many people out there, and then I realized, ICP is gone. They're not here.
Were they ever on the show?
No.
Okay.
I think they're done.
Maybe it's entirely possible.
I know that after this thing, Tiger Ali Singh is gone for like 2 years.
Good.
Well, so Tiger Ali had some heat.
You don't say.
And so, as we'll get to here, they sent him out there with Blackman because Blackman was a tough guy.
Huh.
The idea was he was going to give this guy a beating.
Okay.
We'll talk about what happened.
All I know is this segment was awful. It ended with the oddities clearing the ring, and then it was to the back. They go to the back. Mankind appears to be taking a nap.
He was talking to the chairs, Vinny. He was having a conversation with a stack of chairs.
He told the stack of chairs he loved them. Michael Cole said, quote, Where the hell are we? The McMahons, The Rock, and Paul Bearer are having a discussion backstage. Rock and Undertaker are teaming up in the main event. They basically say, look, whatever crazy bullshit's going on with you and Taker and Kane, we just want to make sure that Taker and Rock will be able to work together. And Bear promises Undertaker and Rock will be a fine tag team.
Vince is like, you got to remember what this guy did to you. He stuffed you down a manhole.
Well, he did.
He did, but it was ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This show is ridiculous.
You don't say. Owen Hart versus Goldust.
Dude.
Oh, Owen is the greatest. He comes down to the ring and he's stretching.
Yes.
He's stretching. He's rusty, you see, because as he's told the fans, I've been retired.
He announced on Heat that he was coming out of retirement. So he's out here to wrestle, and as Craig notes, Owen stretches like he's been bedridden for 2 years.
Exactly.
Everything hurts in this guy.
He gets in the ring, and the first thing happens, he takes an arm drag. He gets up, he goes to the ropes, and he's yelling at a fan. He goes, "Hey, I've been retired."
It was an arm drag or hip toss. He sold this like Shawn Michaels hitting Undertaker's casket.
Exactly.
just agony. He was the best. He was so great here.
He's coming out of retirement to face Steve Blackman in Vancouver, which I presume is the next pay-per-view.
Right.
So this was a warm-up match. So they're doing the match, and Cole says, man, Owen Hart looks great. He's got no ring rust. Therefore, he must be the Blue Blazer.
He's taking Ross's part.
Now,
yeah.
Every single fucking show, the Blue Blazer comes out, and then Owen Hart comes out.
Yeah.
I don't think there has been one single solitary show where only the Blue Blazer has been out there. Every available piece of evidence indicates the Blue Blazer is not Owen Hart. Am I the only one? It's been months.
No.
There is not one shred of evidence that Owen Hart is the Blue Blazer. In fact, all evidence is to the contrary. Fucking Cole is certain. It's gotta be. The Blue Blazer's got to be Owen Hart. And you'll never guess what happened in this match.
Well, Deborah comes out in a trench coat.
Because every single fucking match, somebody comes out.
Yes. So earlier, you recall, Goldust distracted Deborah by flashing her. She comes out for revenge by flashing him, but he's Goldust. And even though Lawler once asked if he was queer, and Goldust denied it, he's still Goldust. He's also a grown man. Nothing he's ever seen before. He was married to Terry, for God's sake.
Right.
Nothing he hasn't seen before. He's not distracted. Owen is.
No, she flashes Goldust, and so Goldust pins Owen.
Yes.
Right.
Because Goldust was not distracted, but Owen was. And so Goldust pinned him. That made me laugh. That made me laugh a lot.
It's ring rust,
Apparently.
I guess.
Clips of everyone in England going sightseeing, and then the Capital Carnage show. Val Venus and the Godfather versus the Acolytes.
Good Lord.
This was when I just could not believe that this show beats Nitro every single week.
Godfather offers his women to somebody in the audience. They found a short, fat guy with a mullet. He may have been doing the Ric Flair promo on the Nitro party, actually. And they gave him the women, and he left. So it's, if I didn't say this, Val Venus and Godfather versus the Acolytes, who at this point were managed by the Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I presume that this was a real fan because, like, he couldn't even pretend that he thought he was actually going to get a night with these women. He just kind of looked at the camera like, hey, that's my TV cameo. Now I'm going to leave.
So everyone brawled. The ref
Got
called for
thrown
the bell.
out.
Geek separated them.
This show sucks.
Steve Austin came out for a promo. He ran down The Undertaker. Talked about all the stupid shit that's happened in this feud. Then Taker's music played, and they lowered his symbol from the ceiling.
His symbol.
Symbol.
It's a goddamn fucking cross. And if I have to hear the word symbol one more time, and I'm going to hear it for like months.
Years, maybe.
Oh my God. They so badly want to be edgy, but they don't want to be too edgy.
Right.
We're going to crucify fucking Steve Austin, but we're actually just going to hang him on a symbol. Get out of here.
So, as this is happening, Taker's voice, we hear Taker's voice, Austin, you are helpless against my ministry. I will take your rotting soul whenever I wish. I will put you in purgatory and leave you there until rock bottom. You will be sacrificed to the ministry of darkness, buried alive, and burned in hell. And then lightning struck that thing, as Lawler called it. It burst into flame. This would have been incredibly stupid, but it was somewhat redeemed because someone had the idea, let's just leave Taker's music playing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That made it much better.
It was a cool visual.
Sure. Mankind is ranting backstage about he and Austin aren't friends, and he's going to fix that. Brian, tell me about Steve Blackman and Tiger Ali Singh.
So as I noted, Tiger had heat, and they figured, well, let's put him in there with Blackman. He'll go in there and he'll give this guy a beating. So instead, Blackman goes in there and just tried to blow the guy up. He just threw him into the ropes. He threw him into the corner. He threw him into the ropes. He threw him into the corner. He threw him into the ropes. He threw him into the corner. He threw him into the ropes, and then he kicked him and pinned him. I was like, what?
He did it. That bicycle kick to the chest was pretty vicious.
And what's amazing about it, this is one of those things in wrestling. It's like, okay, you know the backstory. You know the backstory. All of our listeners know the backstory. These 9,000 fucking fans just had to watch this stupid match for like 5 minutes of Steve Blackman whipping Tiger Ali Singh to one corner, whip him to the other corner, whip him into the ropes, whip him into the other ropes. 5 minutes of this.
It was terrible. It was boring. It may have been the best Tiger Ali Singh match I've ever seen.
They're chanting boring.
Why does Blackman continue to throw a drop kick? He's
It
got
is
one
funny.
of the worst drop kicks I've ever
I
seen.
think he was trying to kick him in the guts as hard as he could.
No. He's done this drop kick many times, and he's never gotten it past even close to the chest.
A guy who has a legit martial arts background can
Yeah.
throw all kinds of cool kicks, but he's got to do the worst one. The one he's worst at. So Blue Blazer comes running down the ramp, trips and falls. Blackman goes after him. Owen runs out, attacks Blackman. The Blazer leaves. Owen is screaming, "You got me out of retirement! Are you happy?" This is the best motivation for a feud ever. Owen?
And Cole is baffled. I can't believe that Owen Hart is not the Blue Blazer.
Owen was happy at home on his couch in Calgary, and this fucker baited him back into the business. I'd be pissed too.
You know, it's so sad, obviously, how this ends. But I said it a few weeks ago. It's so great. It's such a great little storyline.
Until it gets awful.
Until they have to hang him from the ceiling.
Yeah. Mankind is backstage opening doors in search of someone or something. He finds Austin's locker room. He goes inside. Mark Henry versus Draws.
They plugged Austin in Rolling Stone, by the way.
Yep.
Did not plug Goldberg in People magazine.
No.
It is funny because like the Rolling Stone article was like a total, I mean, it was 98. Everybody knew what wrestling was. But I mean, if by chance you didn't, or you didn't want any of this to be spoiled, they're encouraging you to go by Rolling Stone, where Steve Austin talks about what a great guy Vince McMahon is, how they get along so great, how Vince loves the guy, he's got years of planning into his storylines, which I'm sure was bullshit, and everything else.
So Henry and Draws, two big, young, scary, green as hell guys just wailing on each other as sloppily as they can. China comes out and gets in the apron. Draws hooks Mark's arms, but China won't hit him, so Draws lets him go. China hits him with an elbow. Henry follows the power slam and he splashed for the win. Did we mention, since Michael Cole was not used to doing a 2-hour show every week, his voice is already starting to go?
Oh, yeah. You know, I think it was... What was the match? It was like a week ago. I forget what the finish was, but the whole point of it was there was a finish, and Mark Henry, either he lost or D'Lo lost or something happened, but Mark didn't care. He only cared about China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's the exact same thing. He won the match. D'Lo is so happy and celebrating. Mark does not care one bit that he got the pin. He only cares about China.
Well, at least he's got a clear goal and motivation.
Sure. My only complaint is that in storyline, they ain't meeting up backstage. He's got to wait till next week on Raw if she comes out again to speak to her.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
That's how it works when you date a wrestler.
Where the hell is the follow-up for their date last week? I want more. Slow build.
Here's what I wrote here. The corporation was having a chat backstage.
That's what happened.
Any further detail? Okay.
No.
Triple H and X-Pac versus Ken Shamrock and Big Boss Man.
No DQ.
In a no-holds-barred, anything-goes match.
Anything goes match.
Where, if the Outlaws interfere, so be it.
Yes. More Michael Cole. I was unaware at the time how bad it was. It's only going over this. X-Pac is in there kicking Ken Shamrock. Michael Cole says X-Pac is a martial arts expert. Ken Shamrock's right there.
Well, Shamrock's a mixed martial arts
I
expert.
see.
Yes, let's get it straight.
So Shawn and the Outlaws are out there the whole time. They came out during the match, and there was a point, I assume he didn't think they were on camera, but Shawn goes to whisper something in Billy's ear, and then starts licking him instead. Just because. Let's see.
Got the heat on X-Pac forever.
Yes, he didn't expect forever.
Remember
I was
this-
hoping that Shamrock would do that combo guillotine hair pull spot from the women's match that we watched from 1973.
Yes.
He didn't think about it.
No.
I'm doing it next time.
So they toss the chair into Shamrock, but Billy hits the ring and says, no, let me.
Excuse me, the New Age Outlaw, Billy Gunn,
Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaw,
Okay.
corporate outlaw,
the corporate outlaw.
who in this anything goes match, if he gets involved, so be it. He tells Shamrock, let me, takes the chair from Shamrock, and instead of hitting X-Pac, he hits Shamrock right in the head, which is in fact a disqualification.
Excuse me. So the Outlaw interfered in this no-holds-barred, anything-goes match, and it was a disqualification?
Correct.
What a stupid show.
You're right.
Also in this,
I didn't even put it
Should
together.
have been kicked off cable for this.
also in this no DQ, no disqualification, anything goes match. Standing on the apron waiting for tags, both these teams.
Well,
Dude, they did that in the main event too. They're out there, they just brawl, they hit each other with gimmicks, they're fighting all over the place, and then it breaks down into a polite tag.
in the main event, at least in the main event, you can believe these guys were tired. Like, I need a break. I'm going to stand on the apron for a while.
Okay.
So, DX...
Yeah, but then, hold on, Vinny. Okay. But then they're begging for the tag. So they've recovered.
True.
Sure.
But they're waiting for the tag.
You got me there.
I hate this stuff.
So, the Outlaws tear off their suits. They got DX shirts on. They celebrate like it's a huge win, even though they lost. They pulled the wool over Sean's eyes. DX's music plays.
You know, I got to say,
How's that?
as stupid as the finish was, this was a great angle. I loved it. And do you know what made it so great?
Sean.
Yes. This guy threw I thought he broke his back again. He threw the best fit when he got fucked. He was so angry.
He embarrassed
He
him.
had been embarrassed and betrayed, and he's just, his hair's all over the place, and he's freaking out, and he's grabbing at his head, and he's jumping up in the air, and he's shaking his fists, and he pouts his way backstage. He's so angry. It's like, nowadays, nobody sells anything. They just blow it off. Not Sean. You've never seen this guy so mad. He was furious.
That is true.
He sold it for all it was worth. That's what made it great.
Mankind walked out of a door.
Yeah.
This took 5 seconds, but they just had to show it on TV. DX is backstage congratulating each other on their swerve, laughing at the McMahons. Austin goes into his locker room, finds a gift from Mankind. It's beer. Austin dubs him a stupid bastard, but laughs and drinks the beer.
Well, he was a stupid bastard because the main event is Rock and Undertaker versus Steve Austin and Mankind. Heels come out. Rock's got his music back, thank God. Taker comes out. Mankind comes out. And the heels begin to double team him and beat his ass.
They do.
Where's Steve Austin? Well, apparently, he's back there drinking.
It's not finished with his beer.
Beer to
Because
drink.
Foley left him liquor, apparently not realizing if you leave Steve Austin liquor, he's going to drink it.
So Austin's music plays. He comes out to save the day. It's a huge, huge ovation. And they all start brawling everywhere for several minutes. And there's a lot of bad brawls. This is a really great brawl. All four dudes. It does settle down into a tag match.
Let me tell you one thing great about the tag match. Aside from the stupid fact that it became a tag match after an all-out brawl, Mankind is a big, fat dude with a horrifying mask on. He's missing teeth, he's missing hair, and he's missing an ear. He's so good that he gets sympathy selling as the babyface in peril.
Absolutely.
This is mind-blowing.
He's
That
great.
tells you how talented he is.
Yeah. So they didn't heat on Mankind, obviously, and then they didn't even do a hot tag. They just went straight to the 4-way. And then Bossman and Shamrock run out. They handcuff Mankind to the ropes, and then, as far as I can tell, they just disappeared. So Austin and Taker are brawling. Mankind's handcuffed to the ropes in the corner. There's a point in this brawl they just show him, and he's just hanging out in the corner. He's just standing there. So eventually, Austin gets laid out. Taker throws him over his shoulder, carries him up the ramp. Austin's not small. This is a long way to carry a big man. And the Druids are there, and the chant's playing, and they got the symbol down there.
This was another DQ, by the way.
Yeah.
So, like, for the 15 minutes that they were brawling outside the ring and hitting each other with chairs and steps and everything, it was just like, whatever.
But then Shamrock and Bossman ran out.
Well, it settled down into the match,
Yeah.
you see.
Yeah. So I was actually... I remember this happened, but I didn't remember any of the details. When these Druids, who were just random indie geeks, they start tying Steve Austin's thing, I'm thinking, okay, his life is going to be on the stake of the knot tying ability of these men. Thankfully, there was a little platform for him to stand on.
Little handles.
Little handles he could hang on to. He probably would have been fine even without this the rope tying, whatever. So they weren't totally insane.
Well, I'm sure Craig can speak to this, but crucifixion sucks.
I've heard.
It's very, very exceedingly painful. There's no way they could have just hung that guy by his arms here. I mean, he had to have something to stand on.
Also true. So yeah, they tie him in the symbol, lift the symbol up, Taker poses. Austin's screaming at him. Let's see. Austin's body, mind, and soul have all been taken. The only thing left is to bury him alive, and that's that.
Man. I was happy they didn't set it on fire.
Right.
Yes.
Nice they didn't put the guy's life in too much danger for once.
I was
So
wondering
that
if it was still warm from the fire before.
I did think about that. I was like, I hope they burned all that pyro out.
That's a good call.
Don't need him lifted up there and ignite.
Are we ready? Music,
Yes.
maestro. Music, I say. Finishes on this show were pinfall after Goldust flashed his dong, DQ a minute into a tag match, pinfall after Deborah flashed her hooters, double countout in a match that barely even got started, one clean pin on the entire show, pinfall after interference by Chyna, a DQ because apparently DX never wanted to win a tag match in the first place, and a DQ when the boss's flunkies ran out and attacked somebody.
Thank you, Vinny.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Vinny. Yeah, that was a show. But you know what, everybody? We keep trudging on. Week after week, we watch all of these shows, and we trudge forward through the great Monday Night Wars. Oh, man. That's it for today. Vinny, let's just get it over with so we never have to do it again. 5 years from now, people go, hey, why don't you watch those old... No, we already did it! Go to the archives. Let's just get it over with.
For some reason, our listeners are kind of gluttons for punishment.
No.
And when I say
we
that,
are.
When I say that, they want us to be punished.
Yes.
And they love it.
Yes.
We're
So,
really gluttons.
Obviously.
They're going to want us to, get the TNA network and start watching old
No, well, I'm
TV
not gonna, so
I'm a-
they can
I'm a glutton for
get out of
nourishment.
here.
Retro Raw 290, also December 14th, 1998. In the Tacoma Dome,
Yeah.
the night after Rock Bottom in Vancouver. I know I went to both shows.
Yes, sir.
I know you went to Rock Bottom, Brian.
I did go to Rock Bottom.
I don't think I went to this Raw with you.
I don't remember much about Rock Bottom, but they showed clips and it looked fucking terrible.
We hated it.
Yeah.
It was a bad show.
It was a bad show. And then
I seem to remember sitting there watching the main event just going, what the fuck is happening here? Mm-hmm. There's dirt.
Yes. There was
there's
dirt.
a lot of dirt. So this Raw show, I remembered the opener, I remember the tag match, and that was it. So here we go.
I remember the main event.
I did not until we started watching. So the pay-per-view was Rock Bottom, and they had still pics of Mankind putting Rock out with a mandible claw in the championship match, but Vince McMahon declared Rock was still champion because he had not submitted and was not pinned. Horseshit. I know he's a cricket promoter, but still. And then Steve Austin defeated Undertaker in the Buried Alive match after interference from Kane. DX came out dressed as the Corporation.
Wait, what was the finish of Rock Mankind?
Rock put him in the mandible claw. Or excuse me, Mankind put him in the mandible claw. Rock blacked out, but he was not pinned, and he did not submit.
So why'd they ring the bell?
Well, because Rock was out. Mankind won the match, but he did not win the title. It's horseshit, Brian.
I know, I'm trying to figure this out, though. Who rang the bell? The referee?
Ref called for the bell.
This is so... You know what? This right here tells you how bad Nitro was.
Yeah.
Because that is an utter, complete bullshit finish.
That's like the biggest bullshit finish I've ever heard of.
And still, I mean, even with the Flair heart attack, nobody watched Nitro. It's just done. It's over.
So DX comes out here on Raw, and they are dressed as the corporation. Hunter was Rock.
This did not age well.
No.
It was so bad.
Road Dogg is Vince. Had two little people dressed up as Patterson and Briscoe kissing his ass. Billy Gunn was Shane. The funny thing is, Shane was so brand new to TV, they didn't really have anything to make fun of, so they just put him in a diaper. The only good thing about this was X-Pac as Ken Shamrock, because he's just making fists and screaming constantly. Because if you watch this show, that's all Ken Shamrock ever does.
He did drop the line about how it's 5-knuckle shuffle time.
Repeatedly, yes.
Did you notice Billy Gunn also was carrying a large silver spoon?
I did not, actually, but...
We got to talk more about this 5-knuckle shuffle thing.
All right.
This is history. X-Pac is the one who deserves royalties for this 5-knuckle shuffle, if such a thing were to exist.
X-Pac did not invent 5-knuckle
No, but he
shuffle.
did on WWE television. This was the first time it was used on this show ever. The first ever reference to it here on this program.
Brian, people have been saying that.
I know, jackass. I'm just saying that's the first guy. Just like who used The Rock's phrase originally. We just saw it a few weeks ago.
Smell what the Rock is cooking?
No, there was another one that someone said for the first time that Rock stole later. Do you remember this? Oh, come on.
No idea what you're talking
I'm
about.
ashamed of both of you.
We know, but...
I'll think about it.
It took this long for you to admit it.
Somebody else
amazing.
used one of Rock's theme, his catchphrases that he later stole and made billions with. Literally billions. Go on.
So this whole thing, it may have been funny in 1998. It was not funny in 2017. Asshole jokes.
HB
HB
gay.
HB gay. That's right. Jason Sensation came out of Shawn Michaels. He said he was HB gay. He was always bending over. This made TV. It just kept going and going and going. Finally, they said, suck it. The DX music played. Shawn and the Real Corporation came out. He booked the Outlaws versus Shamrock and Bossman in a rematch from last week. Promised the Corporation would get the last laugh. Rock challenged Hunter to a match. Shawn warned him. Hunter only hangs out with main eventers. He is mid-card for life.
Ha!
He does not deserve a title shot. Rock agreed. Hunter said the last time he was kicking Rock's ass, he beat him for a title. Rock said, yeah, because China low blowed me. But he was pissed off and he agreed to a world title match. And then, people really, really remember this. I don't really know why. Rock begins to, he forgets his catchphrase, and so he does everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
He does Hulk Hogan's, he does Ric Flair's, he does Randy Savage's, and then Bret Hart's. And finally he gets out, smells what the Rock is cooking. And it was fine. It was one of the better parts of this segment for sure. But people really love it. I don't really know why.
By the way, I didn't realize how many deviants there were in Tacoma.
You didn't? What are you talking about?
You ever been there?
There was
kidding me?
You
there
live
was-
closer than I do.
Jesus, you practically live in Tacoma.
No, I don't practically live there. But anyway, these signs all around.
Hang on.
Okay, yeah, Google how far it is from Puyallup to Tacoma. Anyway, there was
yeah.
one
Your
guy
actual map.
one guy holding a sign that says, just plain and simple, I'm wasted. Another guy holding the sign, I alluded to it a few weeks ago, the green blazer. There was a woman that had a sign that said, hey, Hunter, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Saw that one.
10 miles.
It's actually farther than I would have thought.
It is a little farther than I would have
Okay.
thought, but yeah, 10 miles.
Yeah, Craig, you're right. There's a lot of sketchy folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Tacoma area.
shithole.
Yes, Tacoma is not a place that I would like to. I would rather go downtown Seattle than I would
Oh,
downtown.
God, yes.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'd spend the night downtown.
Any other brilliant... Go ahead.
Vince gave his crew a pep talk backstage. Val Venus and Godfather versus The Brood.
By the way, I want to mention in the opening segment, Rock and Shawn Michaels as a heel duo were not together nearly long enough.
Right.
They are just the best together. God, they were awesome.
Rock was the best part of that segment by miles. That's true. So, we've seen The Brood wrestle a bunch of tag matches, but it's usually been Gangrel and somebody. I think this was the first match Edge and Christian had as a tag team on Raw, for you historians out there. It was okay for a while. Got the heat on Val. Made his own comeback. There's some kind of four-way going on. He hits a fisherman suplex on Christian, and Edge is in the ring looking right at him, but has to turn his back so as not to break at the pin. Something got fucked up there. Otherwise, it was a fun little 3-minute tag match.
Maybe it was know your role and shut your mouth.
That's possible.
Somebody, so was Tiger Ali Singh? Tiger Ali Singh.
I do remember that.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Know your role. It probably said it to Babu.
It doesn't matter what your name is. Know your role. It was one of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, Gangrel is angry his team lost. He cuts a promo saying the next time you see the Brood, there will be a bloodbath.
Yeah, who gives a shit? This guy never did anything. You know what I mean?
Gangrel?
Like, nothing against David Heath, but the point is, if you watch this show, like, what did Gangrel ever do since he came in? Nothing. He comes in, he loses every single match. Now he gets mad and promises a bloodbath. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that.
Got a cool entrance.
That's about it.
Blue Blazer versus Goldust. Steve Blackman did a horrible backstage promo.
I'd like to mention, even though you denigrated Tacoma,
Yeah.
and you're not wrong, that girl in white that Godfather had, whoa.
That's true.
Man, oh man. Whew. Anyway.
There are a number of gentlemen's establishments in the Tacoma area.
Are there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Never been to one, but oh, yeah.
I would have so much fun taking Craig to one.
I'll say this, and I'm proud of it. I've never been to a strip club in my life.
That's absolute bullshit.
Okay.
There's no way.
Can
Tell me you never drank next?
No, I've never been to a gentleman's club.
Vinny?
I have.
Let's get this thing going. Come on. We'll keep it on the DL.
Did you just say on the DL in 2017?
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Blazer versus Goldust.
There's no touching allowed, Craig. You just stand there. Or you sit there and they stand there.
You must keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll keep their clothes on.
Yeah, sure they will.
Yeah. It's kind of like the anyway. Blue Blazer.
So after Blackman promises to unmask the Blazer, prove it was Owen Hart, they showed many clips of Owen Hart and Blue Blazer on screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Then they gave the finish to the Jeff Jarrett match from Rock Bottom. Let's review. If Goldust won, Deborah had to get naked.
Yeah.
If Jarrett won, Goldust had to get naked.
This was their stripper match or whatever they called
Speaking of gentlemen's clubs. So Jarrett was disqualified. Deborah was supposed to strip naked, but the Blue Blazer had run in and covered her with his coat and taken her away, or his cape.
Yep. There's your $30 you paid for that right there.
So Blazer hit an enziguri for the heat, which lasted exactly that one move.
Blazer was so obviously Owen Hart here. It was awesome.
Yes.
They showed the super close-up, his hair coming out the back of the mask. Not even pretending this time.
No. So Goldust hits the curtain call. He goes for the Shattered Dreams kick. Tacoma wants to see this man get punted in the balls so badly the camera is shaking. And then Jeff Jarrett runs out and attacks Goldust for the DQ. Blackman runs out, immediately tears off Blazer's mask. It's Owen Hart.
The reaction of Owen Hart when his mask got taken off was the best thing all night. Him and Brett, actually. They had great reactions to two completely different things. It was like his face got taken off. He was screaming. He's pulling at his own hair, looking around. He was the best.
Mark Henry was backstage. They played the sexual chocolate theme.
Oh, God.
As he mugged for the camera.
This was the beginning of the deal where I can't remember how much they paid Mark Henry, but it was a lot. I think they signed him to like a 20-year contract.
Sounds right.
And which actually he
Still on it.
Yeah.
lasted the whole thing.
Yes.
They were trying so hard to get this guy to quit. And they tried one bullshit thing after another, as you're about to see over the next several years.
Oh, yes.
And he just pocketed his money and smiled and outlasted fucking everybody.
He did.
What a great man.
Oh, he's awesome. DX and the corporation were shouting at each other in the garage. Let's see. Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown came out with Terry and Jacqueline. There was no commentary during their entrance, so I don't know if they edited music out or edited music in or something. Henry cuts a promo. Says he is a lover, not a fighter. He's here to tell everyone a bedtime story. It is time for the details of his date with China. First, she had invited him up to her room. News to D'Lo, apparently. And then she had invited Mark into her bed.
I do love that as he's getting to each part of the story, D'Lo's getting more interested in hearing the details. Like, you were invited into her bed?
Mm-hmm.
And after all this, they announced that D'Lo was filming.
Yeah.
It
Some
should
wires
not-
got crossed there.
What is going on?
Should not be a surprise to D'Lo that all this happened.
No. Henry says he was a fine athlete, but China had worn him out. And then we go to a match.
No China.
China just says, huh, it's weird.
She did not deny this.
No. Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown versus Scorpio and Bob Holly.
Well, Henry did defend her honor last week.
That's true,
suppose.
but I mean,
And,
Maybe he won her heart.
now he's telling
maybe.
tales.
Al Snow, Gilbert, and the Blue Meanie were at ringside. I'm going to say that again. Al Snow, Gilbert, and the Blue Meanie were at ringside.
I'll say it this way. Al Snow, the Blue Meanie, and the WWF light heavyweight champion,
That's right.
Gilbert, were out there at ringside.
Yep. So the camera's focusing on them and Terry and Jacqueline as much as anything going on in the ring. Something happened. Jacqueline hit Holly with a missile dropkick. Henry hit a power slam for the win. It sucked.
Top rope dropkick landed on her own face. It's just brutal. This was a horrible, horrible segment.
Did we miss some television? Why is Terry with this group?
They were on there last week.
Terry and Jacqueline have been together for a while.
Yeah.
This is the first time they come out with Mark
Okay.
Henry and D'Lo.
Okay.
And there's no explanation for why.
Because
That is the
have
answer.
you watched this show? That's the answer to everything.
New Age Outlaws versus Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man. It was funny. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg are big men, even by the standards of the 90s. But here they were a babyface tag team. So they're doing flying dropkicks everywhere. They're good dropkicks too, but it was still funny. So
Well, let me explain the finish, what it was supposed to be, because I'm sure it sounded good on paper.
yeah, I forgot what happens, and I wrote a lot about it.
Okay, so Sean interferes, and he's on the apron, and Billy goes after him. Sean has the nightstick. The referee's distracted. The idea is Sean is going to hit him with the nightstick, and as he falls backwards, Shamrock will put him in the ankle lock, and he'll be unconscious. The ref will raise his hand 3 times. That's it. Fine on paper. Shamrock's standing there in the middle of the fucking ring, out of position, and he's just looking at him. And he's looking at him. And he's looking at him. And Sean's madly waving the nightstick. And Shamrock's looking at him. And finally Shamrock lumbers over there and you do the finish. Is it that hard? This guy's now one half of the tag team champions. You couldn't even not fuck up the finish?
Yeah, I did notice Billy was threatening to punch Sean for about a minute,
Dude.
and then he gave up. I didn't put together what had gone wrong, but I was pretty
Well, that's
sure.
what went wrong right
I was
there.
pretty sure this is not how they were supposed to go.
No, this was bad.
The McMahons came out.
This was great.
They admitted Steve Austin did win the Buried Alive match, and thus he qualified for the Royal Rumble. They were going to live up to their word. He would be in that match. Now, he was very disappointed in Mankind, because Mankind put both the McMahons in the Sacco Claw. He was very disappointed in Kane, because Kane had helped had helped Steve Austin win. So, as punishment, he was booking them against each other, Kane and Mankind, in a no-holds-barred match. Now, as for Austin, he's going to be in the Rumble. We're going to draw his number right now. They got the tumbler in the ring. It's filled with ping pong balls or whatever. And they turned this thing a couple times. I did like Shane's new at this. And so in the middle of it, Vince, he stops himself mid-sentence and says, Shane, get on this side of the table. Just in character, into the mic. Just come over and be on this side of the table. They do a number for Steve Austin. It was number 1. Austin's going to be the first man in the Rumble.
They howl.
Well, Vince howls. Shane says, wait, Dad, we're being too harsh. We should give Austin another try. They roll the tumbler, pull out another ping pong ball. It's also number 1.
I loved it. I thought they were going to say, oh my God, it's number 2. Because in the Royal Rumble, that's number 1.
Sure.
They're both
The same,
number
man.
1. But instead, they're such heels that they do not give a shit. They're just going to cheat.
They're total dicks.
Every ball is number 1.
They want everyone to know it. As Vince said, it's unanimous. So there's
That's
more.
right.
There's more. Vince says he's going to put a bounty on Steve Austin. He's going to take $100,000 out of Shane's trust fund. Yes, Shane noticed this. He's going to offer to anyone who can eliminate Steve Austin from the Royal Rumble. And now it is time to introduce a new Rumble competitor. A superstar who could be the man to save Ted Turner's WCW.
What a fucking amazing comment that was in hindsight.
Well, yeah.
A man equal to the skills of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes. He says Shane introduced this man. And Shane is a big dramatic introduction. He's gesturing towards the entryway. A great superstar, for whatever the hell he says. And then he stops and turns, and it's Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And Vince is smiling and beaming. He confirms he's going to be in the Rumble. And now it is time to draw his number. And Shane goes to draw a number. And as he's spinning the tumbler, Vince says, I hope it's number 2. Shane draws a number. They're both very disappointed. It's number 30.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
But Vince says, seems fair to me. And they start to leave. Mankind interrupts him backstage. He challenges Vince to face him tonight. Says Vince would be a coward to turn him down. May have been the first time he used the testicular fortitude line. He left before Vince could answer. They go to break, and they come back.
By the way, Vince vowed. He did not guarantee, mind you. He vowed there was no chance in hell that Austin would ever be the WWE champion. Very important distinction there.
Yes.
This was not a guarantee.
So Vince and his crew are having a meeting backstage. Should he fight Mankind tonight? As they're talking about this, Patterson says, Vince, you can win $100,000 in the Rumble. And everyone stops. And Vince stares at Pat for like 3 seconds. And finally just says, that's stupid. And we move on. Have we talked about how great Vince and the Stooges are?
They're the best.
They're amazing.
They say you can't fight Mankind. We fought him. He's crazy. Vince says, I got to think about it.
Jeff Jarrett versus Steve Blackman in a guitar on a pole match for no good goddamn reason.
Not only that, I mean, so Deborah starts stripping. I'm quite confident she has no nipples. You've never seen so much boob, but no nipples. You must not have them. So it's a guitar on
It's a lot of
pole
plastic,
match.
yes.
It's a guitar on a pole
I
match.
forgot to put those back after the surgery.
Jeff
Barbie doll.
gets the guitar. He swings. Blackman gets the guitar. He swings. They fight over the guitar. The referee takes a bump. God only knows why in a guitar on a pole match.
A referee bump and a guitar on a pole match.
Owen comes down, breaks the guitar over Blackman's head, helps the ref up, and the ref counts the pin
Jeff Jarrett.
in a guitar on a
pole
pole
match.
match. What's the point of the guitar being on the pole
Well, you get to
if
use
it's a pinfall or submission?
I don't know.
I don't know why I like this show, now that I think about it.
It was much better than Nitro.
It was better than
Blew
Nitro.
Nitro out of the water.
But my
You did
God.
watch Nitro first, right?
Oh, shit, did I ever.
Because I watched Raw first, and then a few days went by.
Yeah,
So-
same here.
Tiger Ali Singh was upset. The words "blood bath" had been written on his locker room wall.
And he had the nerve to be curious as to what does this all mean? Even though he'd been stooged off earlier in the show.
He ain't watching this show.
Vince told Shane he was going to wrestle Mankind, but they're going to do it his way. They go to commercial. They come back. The camera's peeking in through the door, and we see Vince in the mirror as he removes his shirt, gets his pecs on camera, and then Shane sees the cameraman and shuts the door. We were literally teased with Vince's pecs. That was the tease to get us to stay tuned.
And people did.
They did. I guess it worked. Tiger Ali Singh versus Gangrel. Tiger comes out. The lights go out.
Say that again.
Gangrel.
Gangrel.
He's very gangrely.
Gangrel.
Gangrel, whatever.
Gangrel.
Gangrel. Gangrel comes out, or is supposed to come out.
And there's Tigger Ali.
So the lights go out, the Brood's music hits, the ring lights up red. Tigger tries to flee up the ramp, but Gangrel and Edge are there waiting for him. Christian joins in. They triple team on the stage. Lights go out. The music continues. And eventually the lights come up. The Brood is gone. Tiger is laid on a stage covered in blood. Michael Cole, Master Sleuth. This must be the bloodbath the Brood had promised.
Call it a hunch.
We cut backstage to show Kane standing there. Okay. EMTs were helping Tiger Ali Singh go backstage.
EMTs. He's swallowed some paint.
Mankind versus Kane. They were experimenting here with a dance remix of Mankind's entrance music before it's got him his new song later this month, actually. So they brawled outside, hit each other with stairs. And fighting out there, Vince comes out and says, Mankind, come meet me in the parking lot.
You want it, you got it. My way, not yours. If you've got the guts, I'll see you in the parking lot for a good old-fashioned street fight. This was so Vince. He thought he was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Man, if there's ever going to be I'll meet Bischoff in the parking lot.
That's right.
I'd beat any man in a street fight.
He leaves. Mankind follows him. Mankind gets counted out in the no-holds-barred match, I think.
Sure.
There was never a bell.
I don't know if there was a finish.
There was
I
never a
don't
bell.
think it was supposed to be a match.
Well, I mean, it's no holds barred match. That
entrances.
indicates it's a match.
Anyway, Mankind leaves. They go to commercial.
Thank you, Brian.
So it was a match, dude. But I don't know if there was a finish.
I'm saying
You don't know if the bell rang to start it.
Mankind challenged McMahon to a fight, and then he went out to wrestle Kane.
Yeah.
But because Vince hadn't accepted yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vince did say he was booking a match between Kane and Mankind.
Okay.
Now, for those of you younger folk who were not around for the Attitude Era, this is the kind of argument that has to be had with every show. Was this or was this not a match? Was there or was there not a finish? It's wrestling on a philosophical level, only it's shit. You're never sure what's happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of never knowing what's happening, they go to break. When they come back, orderlies are loading Kane into an ambulance.
Yeah.
I seriously thought there had been a bit that was edited off the network.
No, it was during the commercial.
Did they show what happened during commercial?
That's what they said happened during commercial. And not only that, like, I don't want to make light of the situation, but, you know, for a while, Brent was institutionalized.
Sure.
Like, are you allowed to beat the shit out of the guy
I don't
when
think
you're coming to institutionalize him?
You'd have to ask him.
The orderlies show
If you
up.
are,
The orderlies show up.
is there a what's the process of this gig?
Vinny, please. The orderlies show up to take Kane away, and Bossman and Ken Shamrock are there kicking the shit out of him.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, don't they dart him first or something?
There's got to be a better way than having
Yeah.
two trained pro athletes, pro fighters, attack him with a nightstick.
It's funny because the Tacoma Dome is just down the street from Western State when you think about it.
It is. It's a short drive.
Yeah.
Let's see. So in the middle of this, by the way, they show what happened during the commercial with Kane and the orderlies, and then they cut backstage, and Mankind's whipping Vince's ass in the parking lot or the garage. The Stooges attack. Mankind beats them up too, and he goes to put Vince in the Sacco Claw and put him in the trunk of a car. Rock runs out. He jumps Mankind from behind. He hits a rock bottom on the hood of the car, and they go to break.
It's brutal.
You know, the list of Mick Foley bumps on the show.
That's true.
This was low on
This
the
is nothing.
list. I mean, it gave.
It looked cool.
It looked cool. It made a very cool noise. Triple H versus The Rock in a non-title match in the main event.
No, it was for the title.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Triple H did bait Rock into doing it. My bad.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was a really good old school professional wrestling match
Yes.
in the middle of all of this Vince Russo bullshit. And guess what? It was the best thing on the show.
It was the best thing all night.
yeah.
Definitely.
God, what a pop The Rock got for the people's elbow with a crotch chop. He's the heel. He does a crotch chop, people's elbow, the place goes crazy. Then Hunter kicks out, they go even more crazy.
Yep. Somebody shouts 1 minute. Although it actually ended up going a lot longer than that. Hunter calls the face crusher, which if you heard of that move where he jumps up and drops the guy's face in his knee, that's a face crusher.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And a very creative name there. And then, I don't know what happened.
I'll tell you.
I think Shawn Michaels fucked something up.
Shawn and Triple H are arguing, and Chyna hits the ring, gives Rock a low blow. This gets the biggest pop of the night. The camera's shaking, it's going nuts. The ref goes to talk to China. Hunter hits the pedigree. Sean gets in the ring, and his job is to hit Triple H with the belt. Sean is just the absolute best. Doesn't matter if there's 10 seconds left. He gets in the ring. He looks at the belt. He raises it very, 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 very high over his head, and he stomps the ground as he hits the guy in the back with it. And then he calmly exits the ring. Triple H kicks out anyway, and then Chyna goes to kill Shawn Michaels outside. She's twice his size, it looks like, in the view that they had. And who should come out to interfere in this match and lay out Triple H but Test?
Oh, yeah.
The Motley Crue roadie,
That's the
Michael
only time.
Cole says.
Well, yes.
We haven't seen him for like 2 months.
He showed up. He kept Motley Crue safe. He guarded their bodies. And here he is. He lays out Hunter with the meltdown, ironically.
Yeah.
He stole Wrath's move.
He did.
Rock made the cover for the win. If you like chaos, this was the show for you.
Well, yeah.
That's for sure. Now, what I was talking about before Chyna came in and all that, Hunter is chasing Rock around ringside. And Rock gets into the ring. Hunter starts to get into the ring, and Shawn runs up and grabs Hunter, but then lets him go. And then Rock rolls out the other side. Hunter goes after Rock, and they just do the same thing, but this time Shawn grabs Hunter. So somebody fucked something up.
Well, maybe they were on the wrong side, or the
That's
ref hadn't
possible.
been distracted yet.
I bet
or-
it was the wrong side.
Yeah.
That was probably it. Because they wanted Chyna to come down the ramp. Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, but when Shawn Michaels fucks something up, it is news.
I don't know if he did.
In the ring. It may have been somebody else.
Could have been anybody. All I know is, I'll say it again, Rock and Shawn Michaels is a heel duo. I don't have vivid memories of this. Like, I remember this period. I remember Rock. I remember Mankind winning the title. I remember this stuff, but I don't remember Shawn being involved. He wasn't doing a whole lot. But as I watch it today, man, he's great. They were so great here, this heel duo of The Rock and Shawn Michaels. And this was worlds better than Nitro.
And no Stone Cold on the show whatsoever.
No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. But you know he'll be back.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows. All right, well that's the show, everybody.
Finishes, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me cue up the music.
The main event of the Brian and Vinny show now is this finish report.
Here we go.
The finishes on this show were DQ when Double J ran out to save his masked buddy. Pinfall after the commissioner hit a guy with a nightstick. Pinfall after outside interference with an illegal guitar in a guitar and a pole match. No match due to bloodbath. Count out, I guess, in a no-holds-barred match. And then pinfall after interference from like 3 people with at least 2 weapons in the main event.
Yeah.
Raw. Also, December 21st, 1998, episode number 291. So the show starts. This would be stupid, except it's Vince and the Stooges, so it totally makes sense. Vince is leaving. Vince says, I'm going to go get a workout. I'm going to bring everyone in the corporation back at Christmas bonus. Shane, you're in charge. And as soon as he says this, he turns to Briscoe and Patterson and says, I'm holding you responsible for whatever happens. Warns Shane to keep his anger and ego in check.
How ironic. How ironic.
Well,
Briscoe is sure to remind him, don't forget the bonus, Vince, Mr. McMahon. Vince leaves. Shane marches in the building saying, I've got a lot to do.
So, to recap, on Monday night at 9 p.m., in the middle of a wrestling war, Vince has got to go get a workout.
well, it was actually
And he
at 5
leaves.
because we were in Washington this week.
you
in
know,
Spokane.
that's not what I'm talking about, Craig. You know what I'm trying to say here.
I know.
Yes, it was poor planning on his part. But as we've established, Vince is a cartoon villain.
Yes.
So the corporation comes out to yet more new music.
I don't know what this was.
This is generic 1980s TV show opening credits.
Weird.
Like a rejected Miami Vice theme.
It was like this.
I wouldn't go that far.
Kind of was, wasn't it?
No.
Maybe it was.
Although, Sean in his business suit and Santa hat would have fit right in with that song.
How about that one?
It's like Toto.
Closer.
That's the same one.
Do you have 2 versions of the same song?
Yeah, apparently I do.
You say with a lot of synthesizers, a lot of Moog. this is closest yet.
There we go.
It's at least in the right key.
So, hey, the corporation comes out.
This is like Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, but it's got the right tone, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So Shane starts to talk, but DX interrupts almost immediately. They bring out Mankind with them, and then it turned into a 10-minute boring promo. It was not a 20-minute boring promo, which I thought it was going to be. It was a 10-minute promo. The highlight, as DX and Shane and Sean are all trading verbal barbs, Mankind's out there, but he's not like part of DX. So this, I don't know if this is in character or out of character, but it works either way. He's just shuffling around the stage trying to figure out where he should be standing. And he never did find a good place. He was just in perpetual motion. So Shane decrees the Outlaws will not get a tag team title rematch. Instead, he's going to book them against the tag team champions in singles matches. He promises Billy Gunn will get a UFC ass-kicking from Ken Shamrock. He also books Road Dogg versus Big Boss Man. And already Briscoe and Patterson aren't happy about any of this. Sean books Hunter and X-Pac versus Rock and Test.
Actually, Sean booked all these matches, but go ahead.
In his Monday Night Raw debut, Test is in the main event.
Yeah.
And
they just nonchalantly announce his name is Test.
Test. Mm-hmm. No explanation. He's just Test.
Maybe that's what he did in Motley Crue. He got on the mic and he went, Test.
That is the joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shane booked himself against Mankind. Now the Stooges were just beside themselves. And Mankind and DX a hearty belly laugh at all this. And that was it?
Mankind's response to Shane McMahon threatening to kick his ass was the best thing on this show. It was the best thing all night, second only to Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff. Foley was howling with laughter that this fucking silver-spooned sissy, I believe he called him, is going to go out there and beat his ass tonight.
But it was a delayed belly laugh. He held it in until getting on the mic and saying, I have only one response to this, and he just let it all go.
That made this worthwhile.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
I felt.
They plugged Steve Austin in a feature in People magazine. D'Lo and Mark Henry are backstage.
Oh, boy.
D'Lo says, we have a match later. You don't have time to mess around with any women tonight. Mark says, I got a few ladies behind this door. I'm going to have a great match with them, then I'll go out and have a great match in the ring.
Where does one get a shirt like Mark Henry was wearing?
You tell us.
I have no clue.
Why are you asking me?
This thing looked like...
Got a point.
This was like Mr. Rogers' sweaters on acid.
Nothing for me will ever top the day I saw Mark Henry wearing baggy jeans. The fields necessary to get the denim together.
Sure.
To produce these. My God. Anyway. So yeah, Mark says, I'm going to go have sex and then wrestle later.
Mm-hmm.
In like a quintessential 1998 Raw opener, Al Snow versus Gangrel. Gangrel had his one cool suplex. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you guys something. In storyline, what was the Job Squad?
Well,
Bunch of guys that were jobbers
yes.
who then come out here and win everything.
See,
Guys that look
I
at
don't
the
know what's
light.
going on.
they get band together because they lose all the time.
Yes.
They make shirts that say "Pin me, pay me," indicating they don't care if they win or
They
lose.
spend a lot of time looking at the lights.
And then they
collect
win.
checks.
Yeah, they won all up and down this show.
Shouldn't they be disappointed?
They're killing their gimmick.
I hadn't thought of that.
Just confused. So Al won with a snowplow, but the Brood immediately pounced on him and gave him a bloodbath.
Cool, they poured paint on him. Who
Can
gives
I
a fuck?
ask you if you got a quote-unquote bloodbath? Somebody come up and poured
Paint on you?
paint or Kool-Aid or whatever. Would you act like you were in shock, or would you want to kill that person for dumping
I'd be
Kool-Aid?
pretty mad.
It'd be a humiliation, and you want your revenge.
You wouldn't act like you're losing your mind, and
I'm not Al Snow.
That's good.
I mean,
I don't think we'd be
this
doing
was
the show.
this seemed to be in character.
They go to break, they come back, the Job Squad's out there, and Al is just screaming, not again, repeatedly. Apparently he's had a bloodbath before.
Well, who hasn't?
Billy Gunn versus Ken Shamrock.
Okay, so Cole kept saying B.A. Billy Gunn
yes.
over
Yeah.
and over
Yeah, we were talking about that when
and
you were out of the room.
over and over and over. Now, finally, at the end of the show, he did actually say badass like 3 times in a row. So I think Vince, maybe Vince really did go and work out, and then he got back and he heard one too many BAs and he screamed at the guy to just call him badass, goddammit.
I think, in all seriousness, It was BA in hour number 1 and Badass in hour number 2.
That could be.
I believe that's actually the case. It's still stupid. And
It's
to hear a
incredibly
grown
stupid.
man say BA Billy Gunn, that's awful.
Can you just say Billy Gunn? This was, by the way, I believe this was the very first week that Vince wanted everyone called sports entertainers and not wrestlers.
Well, speaking of BA Billy Gunn, he looked 8 feet tall and 400 pounds. He was just a monster in there. He was not in good shape. He cheated a lot, and then Ken Shamrock got the heat with a clothesline, a legal wrestling move.
I was watching this going, who's the heel here?
Yeah. This is a very fair question to ask. Billy's completely blown up. Doesn't even do a comeback. He just blocks a victory roll and pins Shamrock.
Well, let's talk about what really happened. Shamrock went into the zone. Do we recall what that is when he goes into the zone?
He snaps.
He snaps. And he goes into the zone, he snaps, and his first thought is, I'm going to leap onto his shoulders and do a victory roll.
Of rage.
he's countered and pinned.
Yes.
That'll teach him.
So Billy had done a promo about winning the Intercontinental title. The ring announcer said it was for the Intercontinental title. But out comes Commissioner Sean. Says, no, Billy. You have $1 million body and a 10-cent brain. The ring announcer screwed up. I never made this a non-title match.
I never made it a title match.
Or I never made it a title match. I never made this a title match. So yes, Billy Gunn, you won the match, but Ken Shamrock is still the Intercontinental Champion. And so Billy moons Sean, and
Billy's so mad. Okay, he thought he won the prestigious WWE Intercontinental Championship held by such men as Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels himself, Mr. Perfect. He's so angry about this dusty finish that he must pull his pants down. He must show his BA to Shawn Michaels. These are supposed to be real people.
yes,
Grown men.
This is ridiculous.
it is. It's very silly.
This is more ridiculous than a Dasha promo. I'm so mad I'm going to show you my ass.
Well, the ridiculous is in the next segment.
Well, he got beat up, by the way, when he showed his ass.
Yes,
As he should.
What an idiot. Shamrock laid him out.
this was
I can't take that ass in my face. I'm going to beat you up.
from start to finish. There is no logical reason Billy should have been the babyface here
No.
in any way.
What a weird guy.
It was a very weird time. So Hawk is back. He showed up on Heat with a cast on his
Here's
arm.
another one.
Yeah,
I thought he fell off the Titantron. We never saw the guy
it just
again.
kept falling.
They actually explained what happened. This whole stupid storyline was explained right here. And you know what? It made sense.
I guess it did. Hawk's in street clothes, head full of hair, said, I'm done keeping secrets. He calls Draws his pusher, which I thought meant he pushed him off the sign.
Well, he did.
I guess he did, but he meant his enabler, his dealer. Draws was the one giving Hawk all the drugs. I'm clean now. This is all a plot by Draws. A plot by Draws, he says, to make me look weak in animals' eyes.
Draws was the dope pusher, and he was the dope.
That's right. Then he said, LOD stands for Legion of Doom, but also Lords of Discipline. I thought, holy shit, he watched the Canadian Kodiak's promo.
Crazy. How fucking weird. It's so weird all the time.
He said when he healed up, he would take care of Draws, and then Draws showed up, laid him out. Animal ran out, threw Draws down, and then nothing else happened.
Draws denied none of this. So apparently the
true.
story,
He,
this whole storyline, they're explaining that Draws wanted to be in the Legion of Doom. So he started pushing drugs on Hawk. Hawk got all fucked up. He took his spot on the team, and then he tried to kill him.
yeah, that's what happened.
That is the goddamn storyline. Which really, I always hated the storyline, and I want to say I don't like it now, okay?
I certainly don't like it.
But now that I've once again watched their explanation of it, at least this whole stupid storyline makes sense.
All the dots are connected.
All the
threads
T's
are
are
tied
crossed.
together. Yes.
Man, oh man. I don't know where it goes from here. I don't remember.
I bet it goes nowhere.
This may have been the actual real end.
This may have been
For
the
all I
payoff,
know.
yes. So Mark knocks on the door backstage. Mark Henry knocks on the door. There's Terry Reynolds and Jacqueline waiting for him. He went into the room with a smile, but D'Lo was frustrated. What a wingman D'Lo was, by the way.
I'll tell you.
He stood there outside the store for more than an hour.
Well, he's warming up for his match. I mean,
guess.
what else is he going to do? Go to catering?
That's D'Lo. They showed Steve Austin stunning Santa Claus last year. Cole confirmed, don't worry, everyone, that was not the real Santa.
Thanks, Cole.
And he says they will have the real Santa on Raw later.
I can't wait.
Steve Blackman.
Who was it?
I don't think they ever come
We
out.
never had it.
He was lying.
Maybe he meant Nitro.
Ah.
I hadn't thought of that. That's meta. Steve Blackman versus the Blue Blazer.
Owen's doing commentary.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you recall, last week he was unmasked as the Blue Blazer.
That's correct.
Yes.
So for one time out of 15 appearances or so,
Sure.
the Blue Blazer was in fact Owen Hart.
Yes.
So now Michael Cole is certain that Owen Hart is the Blue Blazer. Meanwhile, the Blue Blazer is in the goddamn ring,
Yeah.
and Owen Hart is sitting next to him.
Next to him. In contact.
You know, it seems pretty clear to me as a viewer that there are at least 2 Blue Blazers. Am I the only one?
That'd be a good clue.
Owen then claims it wasn't me.
It was tampered footage.
Yes.
To which Cole says, you couldn't tamper the footage. We were live last week.
Yes.
There's 15 seconds of silence. Then no one says, I don't care, it wasn't me.
I love Owen.
That was the best. That was so awesome. He was so deadpan. He was so not bothered about it being live.
Then he goes, you know, OJ, Bill Clinton. He goes, there's, what term did he use? There's plausible deniability. What did he use? What did he say?
I don't remember.
God damn it.
So he gets up.
The preponderance of evidence. What term did he use? It's a legal term. Help me out. This can drive me crazy the whole show.
Why don't you load up the show?
I'm not loading up the damn show. It's a legal term.
Habeas corpus.
In order to prove a case, there has to be
Evidence.
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
beyond a reasonable doubt. He goes, you cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that was me. His whole face is exposed.
So he trips Blackman, attacks him for the DQ, outruns Goldust to make the save for whatever reason, and Goldust unmasks this Blazer. It's Jeff Jarrett.
This leads to the other funniest Michael Cole moment of the entire show. Jeff Jarrett is unmasked. Jeff Jarrett is my favorite unmasking spot where you don't want your face to be seen, but when you're unmasked, you just look at everybody with your eyes wide and you freeze and show your face to the world. And Owen, of course, goes to cover him up. Who's this masked man? He's repeating. Hold on. You can get to that in a moment. So Cole says, that's Jeff Jarrett. Jerry Lawler says, no, it's not. Cole says, that's Jeff Jarrett. Jerry Lawler says, no, it's not. And so then Cole says, well, who is it? Jerry Lawler convinced him.
He did.
Merely
he
by
used the Jedi mind trick.
insisting that it was not Jeff Jarrett. And Michael
This is
Cole
not the double J you're looking for.
finally believed him. I fucking laughed so hard.
Well, that wasn't even...
I laughed so hard when Jerry Lawler finally convinced him that his eyes were, in fact, deceiving him. That is not Jeff Jarrett.
That wasn't even the funniest thing of this whole segment because Goldust pulls the mask off on the ramp. So Jarrett's on the ramp, bug-eyed, looking at everyone. Owen runs up with the cape, throws the cape over Jarrett's head, leads him back down to the safety at ringside, and Goldust and Blackman leave. And then Owen asks, who was that masked man? And Jarrett's bent over with a cape over his head, and Owen doesn't bend over, but he reaches down and picks up like the corner of the cape and lifts it about 6 inches and then drops it and shrugs. I can't tell who it is.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I hate this storyline for how it ends, okay? But in a vacuum, this storyline is so amazing. And Owen Hart is the best.
Remember that like 6 months they wasted with him as a babyface?
Oh my God. He is so amazing doing this Blue Blazer deal.
Terry and Jacqueline told Mark he was in for a 7-course meal from soup to nuts.
Yeah.
I never heard that before.
You never heard that before?
No. So Mark starts to undress.
Of course he hasn't.
Shut up. The ladies said, no. You're not going to undress. We're going to take a shower. You're going to watch. And meanwhile, D'Lo Brown was starting to get anxious.
That was course 1. The soup, if you will.
I see. So Mark cannot believe his good fortune.
I would skip the salad.
Thank you, Craig. Mark is watching a shower backstage, and we see their forms silhouetted through the shower curtain. Road Dogg versus Big Boss Man. Road Dogg says, "Hey, Boss Man, you should put your piece of crap," that's what he said, "piece of crap hardcore title belt on the line." But Boss Man says nothing. Road Dogg says, "I've got a cousin from Cobb County. He's been in jail. He says tonight you and your friends like to get really funky with them nightsticks." Boss Man still won't answer. So finally he just calls Boss Man a chicken shit, and Boss Man says, "Fine, I'll put the title up for grabs." So they had a hardcore match. Now I've seen a lot of weapons matches that it's just two guys hitting each other, taking turns hitting each other with stuff. These guys had a really good match. It's just that every move they did was crowd brawling or hitting each other with stuff or going through tables or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's actually a really fun fight. And eventually, they got a noose out. Yes, an actual literal noose. They're taking
foreshadowing here with the Big Boss Man.
That's true. Taking turns trying to strangle each other. Road Dogg puts a trash can on Boss Man's head. Always comedy. Jumps out of the bleachers onto him. People are just going nuts. Boss Man gets the rope back around Road Dogg's neck and is whipping him. They're like in the kind of an entryway kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so Boss Man's whipping him from one wall into the other, and it looks great.
Yes.
And then Mankind appears out of nowhere, takes out the Boss Man with a net.
Yeah.
I don't know where he found a net or why he decided to use a net. A net and a nightstick, and Road Dogg makes the cover to win the match. That was really fun.
That was a pretty fun match.
Road Dogg is your new hardcore champion.
Yes. Place went batshit crazy for him winning that title.
Yes. Jacqueline and Terry in negligee had Henry on the couch and began to disrobe him down to his red silk boxers.
This led to my favorite part of this segment. Besides earlier Terry's tank top. She says, "What a nice backside."
No. What she said was, because they take him over to a massage table and lay him down on the massage table, and Terry says, "You've got a nice backside." Like 2 words.
Yeah. What a nice backside.
Right.
And Mark Henry's response is, "I work." Hello? Damn it.
Oh, you did.
Here we go.
What?
"I work hard on my squats."
A lot of squats.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Oh, that was really
Damn it. It's not worth
worth the time we invested.
Wow, you turned up the bass.
I worked so hard, and then it didn't work.
Mark Henry worked hard on his squats.
You want me to say it?
I worked so hard on my squats. There we go. What do you think about that?
That was great, Brian.
Wow.
He's so red.
You're so proud
because
of
I was so sultry.
Oh, is that what you were?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
happened? I see.
Yeah.
Most of the thinking how
Hold
we're
on,
all
he's
in our
gonna do
40s.
7-course dinner, Vinny. Salad to nuts.
No, soup.
Soup. Fuck.
Brian likes the salad.
No, it's Vinny. He's getting the... fuck it.
He said.
All right, let's go here. I'll be here all day.
So they put a ball gag in Mark Henry's mouth.
As we should have, Brian.
And outside, that would be so wonderful. Outside, D'Lo Brown is warming up for his match.
It'd be much
push-ups.
worse, trust me.
The ladies then put whipped cream on Mark, and just before going to commercial, they pull out some kind of vibrator.
Never mind.
Jeff Jarrett hype video. All he did was insult and degrade women on both sides of the aisle in politics.
Cool. What a gimmick. Is he pissed?
He was, in fact, pissed.
Okay, just checking.
The Stooges gave Shane a tongue lashing. Said he was going to spoil their Christmas bonus.
And Shane goes, "He laughed in my face and my family's face." Forgetting that he signed the match and then the guy laughed. Not a very good debater.
Terry put a blindfold on Henry. They strapped him to the table. He noted the straps were pretty tight. Acolytes versus Hardcore Holly and Scorpio.
Job squad, baby. Gotta win.
Mm-hmm. They did?
Yeah.
Well, let me write down what I wrote. Let me read what I wrote down.
Please.
This was an ugly brawl from before the bell rang and didn't get any prettier. Scorp was running the ropes. The idiot ref stepped in his way and got clobbered. Nobody cared about tags and just hit the ring and left whenever they wanted. Scorpio and Farouk were brawling on the floor, and Bradshaw power-bombed Holly in the ring, and the bell rang, and they said the Acolytes had been disqualified.
Yeah, so
they
the
go
Job
one by
Squad
DQ.
won.
What was the disqualification for?
Violence,
What
They hit
rule?
the
kicking
ref.
too much ass.
What?
They hit the ref. Ref got bumped.
Scorpio was running the ropes. Scorpio hit him. Scorpio should have been disqualified.
Never mind.
Who the fuck cares?
All
I know
I
it's
knew
very
is-
important for your gimmick there, Vinny, but
All I knew is I was watching a match that was bad, but they weren't doing anything I haven't seen in every other tag match ever, and suddenly the bell rang, and I had no idea why, and there was no explanation forthcoming as to why.
yeah, because it sucks.
It was that case of they were kicking too much ass, as you like to say.
But did they even announce who won? They announced the Job Squad?
Well, they announced that the Acolytes had been disqualified, so by
Guess the Job Squad
process of
won.
elimination, the Job Squad are the winners.
We know who was the loser? Me.
I mean, I watched it too.
Shane McMahon versus Mankind. Shane came out to the Brawl for All music, which is funny. So the rest of the corporation's out on stage, but Sean won't let them help. So they're doing this match. And Mankind, of course, is destroying him. Then he gives Shane a chair and dares him to hit him. So Shane wallops him, and Mankind no-sells it and lays him out more. The Stooges hit the ring. Mankind destroys them
Oh,
too.
don't even jump over this. Mankind is kicking Shane's ass, and the best worker on the entire show, Pat Patterson, hits the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Pat charges, Mankind moves, Pat smashes into Shane McMahon. Briscoe gets in the ring. He charges. Mankind sidesteps. He smashes into Patterson, who then smashes into Shane. This was the best Three Stooges routine, bumping all over for each other, and then Mankind put Shane in the claw. Pat Patterson is... Why wasn't he a worker on the show every week? He's better than everybody on this show. Him and Michaels both. Retired, they're just blowing everybody away.
So finally, Rock zooms down the ramp and attacks Mankind for the DQ. So the chair shot was not a DQ, but interference is.
Right.
There's a huge brawl. DX and the corporation are out there, and eventually Shane leaves. And this was all weird and pointless.
I guess if you tell somebody to hit you with a chair,
It's okay.
and they do,
You just get what you're asking for then.
yeah, I mean,
All
it was a verbal agreement to
I suppose
bend
so.
the rules.
All right.
Be my guess.
Best I can do. Had a weird skit with Freddie Blassie.
I mean,
being
that's
Santa.
bullshit. That never happens. I was just,
Here was the real Santa. It was Freddie Blassie, dressed as
Oh,
Santa,
I see.
saying lewd things.
Well, he was not the real Santa.
He was
It
not.
was Fred
No.
Blassie.
So the Stooges are in the parking lot. They know Vince is coming back, and they know they're fucked. They're just sad. D'Lo says, "Mark, it's time for our match. The music's starting." He calls Mark's name, and Mark, of course, shouts, "Craig, you want to take this one?"
I'm coming.
That's what he said.
I'm coming.
That's what he said.
I'm coming.
So, he does not appear, so D'Lo goes out to do the match by himself. Then the Headbangers come out.
By the way, Jerry Lawler was overjoyed by this statement, asking, "Where's he? What's he doing, Cole?" And Cole's like, "He'll be here in a minute. He's coming. Yeah, he'll be here shortly."
Yeah.
Lawler's claiming vibrators, gerbils.
Yeah.
Attitude there, everybody.
They go back. They have the camera's still back there with Henry and the women. Now he's strapped down to the table. There's a C clamp on his testicles, and Terry and Jacqueline are whipping him.
Vigorously.
Yeah. So D'Lo Brown versus the Headbangers. I mentioned earlier I was having buffering problems. My home Wi-Fi rejected this segment. It would not play on my laptop. It would not play on my iPad. It would not play on my iPhone. There was nothing I could do to make this work.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. D'Lo Brown was unable to beat the Headbangers in a handicap match.
Right.
Okay.
They beat his ass and they pinned him, and then they left with fake championship belts that they've given themselves.
They pinned him with a double flapjack, believe it or not.
Okay.
And Mark Henry stumbles out on the ramp in his boxers with the handcuffs still on. He seems sad and disappointed for some reason.
I don't know.
And D'Lo says, "Dude, your fat ass should have listened to me." And Mark just is shamed that he let down his partner.
This is what shamed him, that he let down his partner.
Well, they did lose to the Headbangers.
You know what? In retrospect, you're probably right, Vince.
So, we go back to the parking lot. The Stooges, Briscoe and Patterson, are bickering over which one of them is most at fault. The limo pulls up. Before anything else can happen, Briscoe grabs the handle, yanks open the door, leans into the limo and shouts, "It wasn't my fault, Mr. McMahon."
Well, they'd agreed they would take equal blame.
I see.
Yes.
And then he opened the door and blamed his buddy.
So that was awesome. Vince is angry. They say Shane's going to be okay. That didn't make him any less angry. And they go running inside. They plugged Undertaker appearing in a tattoo magazine. Triple H and X-Pac versus Rock and Test. Vince comes out on stage. He says he is in the... First
Sean says, we're going to have some rule changes here. The corporation can stay here at ringside, but DX, the rest of you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Kicks him out of ringside. But then Vince comes out. He says it's been a good night. It's the Christmas season. So, let's allow DX to stay at ringside. Let's have a fair fight, and we'll all watch and see what's going to happen.
So X-Pac, Hunter, and Rock were awesome. Test, as mentioned, was in his Raw debut as a wrestler. If you like clubbering forearms, have I got a match for you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, didn't screw anything up, so it could have been worse.
No, he looked actually pretty good for his debut match.
For a guy making his Raw debut, he looked very good. Did not make for a great main event.
No.
Except when he was out, because Rock is awesome.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. Rock, greater than Test. Oh, let's see. So there's all kinds of chaos. Hunter pedigrees Test. Rock breaks up the pin. And then Rock calls for the corporation to interfere, but the lights go out, and here's Kane. The announcers are saying this must be the Christmas bonus. And Kane hits the ring. He teases attacking the corporation, but he chokeslams Hunter. He chokeslams Road Dogg.
Well, first he hits Hunter. He chokeslams him. Then he chokeslams Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cole cannot figure out what's going on. What does this all mean? Then he chokeslams Road Dogg. What does this all mean? And finally he gets his hands on China as the show goes off the air. I can only hope that Michael Cole finally figured out what this might all mean.
So yeah, a fun match before the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, you know what that means? It's time for the finishes.
It's the only reason I'm on the show anymore.
Oh, it's the Brian Alvarez remix.
The finishes on the show were DJ Chico. Clean pin followed by a bloodbath. Clean pin and a match that turned out to be non-title. DQ due to interference by a man who is most certainly not the Blue Blazer. Pin after interference in a hardcore match. DQ for no reason at all of any kind whatsoever in a tag match. DQ due to interference after a chair shot was not a DQ. Pinfall in what turned out to be a handicap match. And no finish in the main event due to Kane coming in.
Thank you for your hard work, Vinny.
Fine work, son.
Thank you. Well, there you go. That's the show, everybody.
That is the show.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. The Raw one will be more exciting, I promise.
Sometimes you go over these finishes and it's like, man, I don't remember that many clean pins. Or, man, I don't remember that many bad finishes. I'm watching this Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting more and more angry with each passing finish. They even had a fucking DQ in a no DQ match.
They did.
The opener, in fact, yes. Retro Raw number 292, also December 28th, 1998. Corporation's stomping around backstage. Vince says, I don't want to fire my enemies. I want to humiliate them all one at a time. He's going to start with Shawn Michaels. Going to fire him as soon as he arrives. But first, it's time to deal with Mankind.
Vince says everyone responsible for laying a hand on Shane is going to get it.
Remember, not more than 6 weeks ago, Shane screwed his old man by buying Steve Austin's contract.
Things change, dude.
They talked about that. That was all part of a cunning plan to humiliate Austin once more.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Well, that's it. So it's time to deal with Mankind. They go into the boiler room to find him. He comes charging out of the shadows. I believe they.
Oh, the shadows, you say? It was fucking pitch black
It was
back
dark.
there, and they brawled for like 5 minutes. I couldn't see a thing. You just hear grunting.
There's just this fight on the dark side of the moon.
Is it that hard to get like a light in the
flashlight.
boiler room, dude?
I can buy us the boiler room and you have a flashlight back there.
I'm sure they need light down there to fix stuff.
So I believe Shane was telling guys, don't kill him. Good to know. They held him down. Vince booked him in a hardcore title match tonight. And then they left the boiler room. Road Dogg's music started. Shane says Shawn Michaels has already booked Road Dogg in a hardcore title match.
It's not even there yet, though.
So the announcers are pushing the firing of Shawn Michaels. So it's Road Dogg versus Val Venus in a hardcore title match.
Yeah, no disqualification.
Where pinfalls count anywhere and you can use any goddamn weapon you can find.
I think Val would be very good at these hardcore matches.
So, 2 minutes go by.
He's a porn star, Tony. It's his gimmick.
2 minutes go by. Test attacks Val. The referee calls for the bell.
Even Jerry Lawler screams, "Isn't this a no DQ match?"
Yeah. He wasn't wrong.
It's not just...
You want to go first?
I'll just go pretty short. It's not just that it's a DQ in a hardcore match. It's a DQ in a hardcore championship match.
Dude, it's not even that. It's a DQ in Road Dogg versus Val Venus.
There's that too.
You can't beat Val Venus in a hardcore no DQ match. You can have all these idiots run in and destroy both guys and Road Dogg falls on top for the pin. You had to do a disqualification in a no disqualification match. Fuck you. That's the first time I said that during this show.
Someone spoiled it for me this is going to happen, so I didn't have like a visceral reaction.
I did.
But, like, seriously, this has to be the stupidest finish ever.
Oh, it's up there.
In a championship match
Vinny,
where...
hold on a second. You need to remember what we have upcoming in WCW.
Well, I mean...
Things far worse than DQs in a no DQ match.
I mean, okay, this was not... historically, this was not relevant or important. But as far as just stupid on paper...
Yeah, it's dumb.
The whole point of this
A dumb person put this
belt
together.
is that
Would
there
you like to
are
do a
no
rant
DQs.
about dumb people? Dumb people wrote this and dumb people watched it, Vinny. Say your rant.
I don't have it in me today. I'm just saying it was the stupidest finish of all time. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying it calmly.
It wasn't, but okay. You're entitled to that opinion today. Do you even know what we have upcoming, Vinny?
Well, I understand what happens in the next week of Nitro, yes.
Well, okay, so this ain't the dumbest finish ever.
Well, that was more important dumb. That had greater ramifications. It was not as dumb as this.
I see. Well, they're gonna have DQs and no DQ nothing happened matches, which is dumber.
But
Who
it's
cares?
the hardcore championship. The whole point of the belt is that there are no DQs. All right.
The whole point of a no DQ match is there's no DQs, and we're gonna see DQs in no
but
DQ
those are
matches.
random and forgettable. A championship
So
has
is
to have
this.
some legacy.
Vinny, you know what? I was watching this show. Every fucking segment, with maybe one or two exceptions, is completely forgettable.
Listen, Vinny's right, and Brian, you're right too.
Thank
Okay?
you, Craig. I am right.
We're both pretty. All right.
I said you're right.
Vince comes out. He books Road Dogg versus Mankind for later. Runs down all of DX for a while. Talks about Shawn stopping the corporation from helping Shane last week. And vows to fire Shawn in the middle of the ring later tonight.
Okay, Vinny, we have just been arguing about whether a DQ and a no DQ match is the stupidest thing ever. Okay? Did we just waste 5 minutes on that?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what comes next. Al Snow's out here for a match with Edge. He's still covered in blood.
A week later.
From last week, yeah. He has not showered.
So this guy in storyline has traveled all over the country. He has not changed his clothes. He has not showered.
No.
He has walked through airports. He has gone to restaurants.
Rental cars.
He's woke up and went to sleep. And he's got back here to the building still covered in blood from an angle 7 fucking days ago. That's dumber than a DQ and a no DQ match.
It's not, but it's dumb. It's indefensibly dumb. Vince thanked Kane for chokeslamming.
We didn't even talk about the finish.
Was there a match?
Yeah, they had Al Snow and Edge. We were just talking about it. Where are you?
No, the match hasn't happened yet. They
I
showed Al Snow.
Okay.
Then there was a bit. Then there was the match.
I see. Thought you lost your mind.
Well,
It was long ago. Vince thanked Kane for chokeslamming X-Pac on Heat. The Stooters were making fun of Kane behind his back. Vince told Kane to bring him another member of DX as a trophy. Al Snow versus Edge.
Al's covered in blood.
Al's covered in blood.
This is stupid. This show sucks.
and Edge had a hand
It's written
in
by
covering,
stupid people.
Edge had a hand in covering in blood
Stupid
last
people
week.
watch it, including me.
I guess we're dumb too.
Oh, and then, so they do this stupid match, okay? And then, so Al tries a chair-assisted moonsault.
Yes.
I'm going to hold a chair and do a moonsault and land on you with me in the chair.
Right.
So he gets cut off, and he's given like a forward electric chair thing onto the chair.
Yes.
Right.
Not the finish.
Not the finish. He was back on offense 5 seconds later.
Yeah. So, by the way, you know that means there's a chair in the ring and people are attacking each other with it? Not a DQ.
Right.
No.
Al, covered in blood for a week,
Yep.
then gets a fucking mannequin head
Yeah.
and
Yes.
hits the other guy with it for the DQ.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only good thing about this is I must get an animated gif of this. Al is in the mount on Edge, sitting on him, and
Covered in
hitting
blood.
him repeatedly with a mannequin head. Like an action figure. The arms are going like this with a mannequin head over and over and over and over again.
You see, styrofoam far more dangerous.
Please
steel.
GIF this for me. This sucked.
So it's a DQ due to head. Job Squad and Brood brawl. Al flees to the crowd. The Job Squad was so horrible.
All of this was horrible. This
Oh.
was terrible television
Hey,
in every way.
Speaking of terrible television, X-Pac's talking to, quote, his friend Dennis Knight,
Sure.
formerly of Southern Justice.
Yeah. This show's bad.
Weren't they feuding? Am I wrong?
They were.
Okay.
They're now friends. He's retired.
Apparently, he had told Dennis to be there tonight, but nobody knew who he was.
Oh, man.
When they said he, I just figured X-Pac.
Cole was sure to repeat that about 8 times. Nobody knows who this he is.
Must have dozed off.
The lovely Sable, as she was introduced, versus Spider Lady in a women's championship match.
Anybody not know who this was?
I thought
it was Moolah.
Really?
Yeah.
it was Jacqueline because she was covered head to toe to fingertip, just to hide the identity of the one black woman on the roster.
I see.
So Tori is still an obsessed fan. Hits the ring to present Sable with a rose, and come to think of it, pretty much got away with it.
Yeah.
Security said, please leave, and she did, but they didn't tackle her or anything.
Well, you never tackle a pretty lady, you can get, trouble.
Spider Lady jumps Sable, attacks her with a weightlifting belt. The Oddities, who
For
now
the
have
DQ.
either a DQ or the match never started, either way.
Right.
It was a DQ. They announced it.
Right. George Steele is an oddity now.
Yeah. Where'd he
Yes.
come from?
We
That
haven't
was
seen
the big news here.
we haven't seen the Oddities for like 2, maybe 3 weeks, so I'm guessing it happened on one of the other shows.
Okay.
But I do remember George Animal Steel in the Oddities for
Okay.
whatever reason. He replaced the clowns.
Well, Spider Lady unmasked. It was Luna. The Oddities were confused, and Luna was like, I want the belt. She left, and when you only have 3 women on the roster, they're going to have to turn on each other an awful lot. Oddities are tending to Sable backstage. By this, I mean they were patting her on the shoulder and asking, okay? She's dead.
Yeah.
She's hopelessly dead. X-Pac versus Big Boss Man for the European title. A fun little David and Goliath match. Let's see. Boss Man missed a top rope splash in hysterical fashion, I'm trying to say. And X-Pac made his comeback, hit every kick in the world, hits the Bronco Buster. Test runs out. Val runs out and attacks Test. The ref called for the DQ.
The disqualification.
Because one guy not in the match was fighting with another guy not in the match, not in the ring.
Outside the ring, yeah. Disqualification.
There's been a lot of these as I've been counting.
Everyone brawled until they went to break.
Now the best thing on this show.
Yes.
One of the best things all year.
It's a Vince McMahon training video for the Royal Rumble. Vince is in the gym lifting weights. Because back then, if you were getting ready for a fight, you lift a lot of weights.
Sure.
Fat Shane McMahon is his trainer. He's having him do sit-ups with a 45-pound plate on his chest while screaming, I hate Austin. He actually drank 3 raw eggs twice. He's doing a lot of curls. He's flexing. This was incredible. This was the best thing on Raw in months.
You ever try eating a raw egg?
Hell no, are you kidding me? You could die.
Vinny?
I actually did this once.
I
Not
did.
3 of them.
Tony's nodding his head, yes. I've tried this.
Dude,
It's not pleasurable at all.
I hope it's not pleasurable.
At all.
What do you eat that's pleasurable?
What do I eat that's pleasurable?
Can we continue, Vinny?
I'd love to.
That was a question I didn't mean to ask.
Well, Look, we can start with the turkey I made the other day.
Steve Blackman and Gold Dust.
No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet with this training
Please,
video.
we're all sober.
Listen. This is a great thing anyway. It's got the fake Rocky music playing the whole time. And it's Shane screaming, "Who do you hate?" And Vince says, "I hate Austin." And Shane says, "Who do you hate?" And Vince says, "I hate Austin." Shane says, "Tell me who you hate." And Vince says, "I hate Austin." It was so awesome. It's a great segment. You should all go watch it. Goldust and Steve Blackman versus Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett.
This dumb shit. God, Blackman. You know, Blackman did more in WWE than I remember. And I'm not saying, like, I don't remember him being there. Like, there's guys I don't even remember them being there. I remember Blackman being there. And he's no bigger star than I remember. But goddamn, he's just there forever.
Yeah, he's on the show a lot.
He's on there every single week doing stuff.
So speaking of stuff, Owen's running wild, and Dan Severn comes out in a neck brace to distract him.
Dan Severn in a neck brace. This is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
Owen leaves the ring to say he's sorry. Then Severn starts to stalk him in his neck brace around the ring. Owen tries to hide behind Deborah. He rolls inside, and Blackman pins him with the schoolboy. Pins him, I said.
Excuse me, a pinfall?
A man pinned another in a wrestling match.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
The Acolytes were backstage beating somebody up. We were told it was Dennis Knight. He threw him in the trunk of his own car and drove away. Then they said moments ago, and they played the whole fight from the start. Why didn't they just play the whole fight from the start to start with? We watched the end of the fight, then the beginning, then the middle, and then the end a second time. Triple H versus Ken Shamrock.
3 guesses what happened here.
I've forgotten, but I bet I can guess.
Kane comes out. Hunter makes a comeback. Shamrock puts him in the ankle lock. Hunter gets the ropes. Shamrock is in the zone,
That's
so
right.
he won't break the hold, and they disqualify him.
Yes.
Do you know that when he gets angry, he snaps?
That's what I've heard. And then he becomes dangerous.
And you can't talk any sense into him.
I hate this.
This is not a good show.
The only other thing of note is Michael Cole warning us, don't bring naughty signs to Raw.
Yeah. They really said that.
Yeah, they did. And there's a giant fuck sign right there in the front
Yes.
row.
I guess that's why.
Why did they get rid of it?
That's a great question.
So everyone brawled.
I think it was reverse psychology.
Oh, I see.
I think it was them telling fans, bring some real profane signs
Yeah.
so we can get some attention
Yeah,
here.
ramp it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So everyone brawls, and Kane hits the ring, and DX, the babyfaces, run away. They're afraid of the monster.
I don't think there's such a thing as reverse psychology. It's just psychology.
Sure.
It's WWE psychology.
Well, that would be reverse psychology then.
Billy Gunn did a promo backstage, running down Shamrock. Shamrock interrupted. And they yelled at each other for a while. And just remember, as we go on for the next several months, we are now in the midst of a very strong push to indicate Billy Gunn's going to win the Intercontinental title.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end of the story we are being promised. If we accept that we are going to follow along from the start of the story. That's the carrot they're dangling. The big Billy Gunn Intercontinental title win. Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown came out for a promo. Henry may actually have been wearing the Vinny V tracksuit.
Might have been, actually.
He begs China to take him
Is
back.
that Tacoma Discount World new and used? Is it possible it's the same outfit?
The actual same fabric, the actual same
Yeah.
thing? I suppose it's possible.
God damn.
So he begs China to take him back. Jacqueline and Terry come out instead. They are now the Pretty Mean Sisters.
PMS. Haha.
Terry says she likes men on their knees.
Terry, Lawler says, is starting to show.
Yeah.
If you recall, she's allegedly pregnant.
Supposed to be
Right.
pregnant right now.
I'd hoped they'd just dropped that. No.
D'Lo called them glorified ring rats, which popped the announcers but no one in the crowd. He started threatening. China comes out. Henry starts to flee. D'Lo convinces him to stay. Then China threatens PMS. Terry leaves, being pregnant and all.
Excuse me, she threatens PMS?
Pretty Mean Sisters. Not she threatened them with PMS.
You better stop
I
or I'm
see.
going to get PMS.
So she tells Jacqueline, stay away from my man. This made Mark Henry...
That's the whole key to this whole thing, Vinny. Don't downplay
Yeah,
this.
yeah. You're bearing the lead.
China said, stay away from my man.
Referring to Mark Henry.
Mark Henry is so giddy.
Yes.
You never saw a man so giddy, Vinny. I know you haven't. He's so giddy.
So Jacqueline starts making fun of China. China essentially chokeslams her. It was the greatest thing Mark Henry ever saw. China tells Mark she'll see him later, and she leaves.
Next time, I'm not going to be so ladylike. I didn't have enough bass in my voice when I said it that time.
Next time, I'm not going to be so ladylike.
The corporation was tearing up backstage looking for somebody.
Brian's going to try something. Hold on.
Next. Oh, fuck.
He's doing this again.
Go ahead.
The best part of this was some guy in the background.
Next time, I won't be so ladylike.
That's way better than mine.
I'm so disturbed.
I did this last week. Where were you?
You did it
That
better.
was my sultry voice.
You did it better this week. It was deeper. It was
see.
deeper this week.
Okay.
Last
Actually-
week the difference was not as dramatic.
I see.
It actually worked this week, is what
yes,
he's trying to
yes,
say.
that's what Craig
I
is-
figured out how to do it.
I see.
I got it now.
If at first you don't succeed, try and fail and try and fail and try and fail and eventually you succeed.
Try again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm going to use that more.
I can't
anyway,
wait.
We'll move on. Year in review video set to triumphant 1980s TV music.
Like 98 looked really awesome in clip form.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff that happened amidst all the shit.
Yeah, when you take everything in 98 and put it into 2 minutes,
Yes.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
The bedpan made it. That made me happy.
That's all that should have made it. They should have just replayed that for 2 minutes.
The Brawl for All made it, which made me realize, hey, Bart Gunn won that thing and vanished off the face of the earth. Suddenly, they cut away, and the corporation was beating up Godfather backstage.
So apparently they were trying to figure out what to do with Bart. And one of the ideas was, we'll do a Brawl for All with Bart Gunn and Tank Abbott.
Yeah.
Apparently Tank wanted a whopping fee of $55,000.
Good Lord.
And Vince was like, God damn it! Not paying this guy $55,000. It didn't happen. His company is worth $2.5 billion today, but $55,000 was too much for Tank Abbott. I wonder who would have won that.
I don't.
Now that I think about it.
Not for a second. do I
Bart Gunn
wonder
and
this.
Tank Abbott in Brawl for All?
Did you see Butterbean?
Dude.
And
That's Butterbean. I'm talking Tank Abbott.
Dude, go back and watch how slow Bart's punches are.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he probably would lose. But
They drove Tank Abbott to WCW.
it's true.
1998 WWF favorite camera shot? Doors. Here's a fucking door. And at some point, Shawn Michaels is going to walk through this goddamn door.
A Thor. That's what he
Thor.
calls it. A Thor.
Billy Gunn versus Godfather. Godfather got beat up.
Right.
So Shane comes out instead. Says, no, tonight you're wrestling Kane. Says Billy Gunn versus Kane. Kane beats him up. Billy makes a comeback.
X-Pac runs down. DQ. Move on.
Okay.
This show sucks.
They said that Billy Gunn was 100 pounds lighter than Kane.
They was lying to you.
You really?
Yeah. Road Dogg versus Mankind in a hardcore title match. Rock was on commentary. Why did they not just put Rock on a live mic for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Breaking news, he was amazing.
He buried everybody.
Yeah, it was great.
Michael Cole, repeatedly.
He deserved it.
So they beat the hell out of each other. They're taking bumps on the ramp. They're taking bumps on tables. Not on wood tables, plastic tables. Mankind finds a toolbox. He raises it over his head. Road Dogg hits it. Nails and hammers and wrenches poured out onto Mankind's face. And he's holding the damn thing, so he can't use his hands to block it.
Right.
Jesus.
You know, I was astonished. There was a picture of the aftermath of the Christmas show that got out, and somebody commented on it
Sorry about that.
and said, "Why is there a toolbox there?"
Yeah.
To which I immediately thought, "Why the fuck is there a toolbox here in my room? Whose is that?"
Dude, this was a gift.
Oh,
It's filled with WCW cards.
huh. Now that answers
See,
that question.
If Mankind
I
had held
was so
a
drunk,
toolbox full of
no
cards over his head.
Does anybody remember that? Am I the only one?
I remember the cards themselves.
Well, I obviously remember it.
Okay.
So
happy now.
eventually then,
I was getting worried. What happened on this show that I didn't know about? Fucking toolbox up here?
hardcore match are falls count anywhere unless you're in the ropes. We'll break a pin for that. Let's see. A lot happened here. Rock ambushed Mankind, hitting rock bottom on the floor. Foley was not thrilled about taking that bump.
Oh, that was horrible.
And then Rock left and Dog rolled over. Oh, this is after, by the way, Mankind had hit the elbow out of the balcony through a table. So Rock leaves. Road Dog rolls over to make the pin and retain his title. And as he's leaving, he sees a replay of the Rock laying Mankind out. And now he's pissed off. He didn't want to win that way in a hardcore, no rules, anything goes fight.
Hey, at least we had a finish. And not a DQ.
It's actually a pretty fun match, too.
Actually, it was. Road Dogg as hardcore champion was really good. Vince did the walk down to the ring.
This was actually a great segment because you had Vince McMahon and you had Shawn Michaels. It was the simplest segment you could possibly have. Vince yells at Shawn. Shawn super kicks him.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
That's it.
It's easy.
You can't fuck that up.
It showed clips of all this times over the years. Shawn had buried Vince, so Vince should have known better, and he fired him, and Shawn hit... Was this not the greatest super kick ever?
It was good.
That's a pretty good one, yeah.
Shawn's super kicks over the years were really not all that good. He had a lot of bad super kicks.
This was sweet chin music. You get it right on the chin.
They got a lot better after he came back.
They probably did.
Like his pre-original retirement super kicks, he missed 80% of them. When he came back, they were all like perfect.
So he begins to strip and hump Vince's corpse until the corporation runs out to chase
He
him
was
away.
literally humping him when the corporation ran down.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, nor did I remember it. I did love Vince's line about, you became an ingrate. You bit the hand that feeds you. Every fucking simple cliche. But it worked.
Extra attitude.
I didn't watch it.
It was 2 minutes and it was nothing.
I'd seen enough.
They all yelled at Kane as everyone helped Vince to the back. Actually, there was something.
That's it?
There was something. They yell at Kane to hold the ropes open. So he holds the ropes open, but he doesn't do it well enough. So they yell at him to stop, and they hold the ropes open. So Patterson is helping Vince down the steps. And I don't know if this is an accident or on purpose, but it's great either way. They stumble and fall, and Patterson goes to the floor, and Vince lands on top of him, basically in the mount. And Vince rears back a fist. Patterson raises his fist to defend himself, and then they get talked out of it, and they all just walk away together.
You didn't mention earlier in the show when Vince was meeting with Kane, and the Stooges are there, and he's trying to talk to this big monster, and meanwhile Pat Patterson has his hand up to his throat,
Yes.
making fake, because
Mocking.
Kane had the old
That's
voice box.
what I was trying to talk about when you were insisting we talk about Al Snow covered in blood.
I see. Well, that was more important. But Patterson was great there, too. Just want to mention that.
Now then,
Oh,
he finishes on this show. The finishes on this show were disqualification in a hardcore championship match, DQ due to mid-match head,
excuse me.
match officially never happened due to pre-match attack by a masked woman, DQ due to
Actually,
run-in.
I think that was a DQ, just for posterity.
Either way. DQ due to run-in by porn star. Pin after distraction by a guy in a neck brace. DQ due to refusing to break a hold when a guy was in the ropes.
I said it.
DQ due to DX. And pin due to interference in a hardcore match.
That's goddamn terrible.
That's a fucking awful show.
And it wasn't like I didn't notice it. I noticed it during the show.
Yes.
That's when it's the worst.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it.